always just be wary about what our environment needs. Because if you don't give it what it needs, it also retaliates. And you know, the retaliation of nature can never be compared to anything.
The devastation that you are seeing here.
We're tired, we're frustrated, we are feeling everything.
Firefighters struggled to bring the fire under control.
Another march against gender-based violence has taken place.
I could say that the youth is very angry. Like very, very angry. Because we are in demand for change.
Human rights are completely implicated in environmental rights. Your desecration of nature is fundamentally linked to your desecration of the other in human form.
A democratic country. What is a democratic country when we do not inform the policies that govern us?
If and when climate change impact progresses, the marginalized communities, as we know, they're at the forefront of feeling the results of the changing climate.
We're losing the livestock, water, most of the things that we normally can live with it is being destroyed because of these coal mines and this coal power plant.
Our politics and our economics and our cultural disagreements all take place within this framework.
The biggest things about environmental justice is actually living in environment and living around an environment where you can see the green, where you can see plants, where you can see high-rise trees. The unfortunate thing is that in our townships, in our impoverished communities, you don't often see the type of nature that you would see in urban areas where people are actually able to appreciate these small things in life. And so when you don't see these things around in your communities, obviously you're not going to have the same type of empathy for someone who might be seeing this on a daily basis and who might want to protect a rainforest and things of the like. You are faced with not that higher standard of living as opposed to somewhere else in this country. We are faced with gangsterism. We are faced with living from hand to mouth. It's very difficult then to focus on something like climate change.
I believe that there is no environmental justice without social justice. The system is reproducing an unjust setting in society. The inability to describe or even relate to the literature of climate change and environmental literacy in townships, it's a huge block. We talk about it at a very high level that alienates someone who doesn't resonate with that word, but at the same time they suffer the consequences every day. Our work is to always try and change the relationship we have with the environment. If it's a toxic relationship, we try and make it healthy. If it's a greedy relationship, we try and make people see that it's enough to share for everyone. The psychology, the well-being of a person is important. My work, interacting with different communities, brings a lot of emotions. To tell you the truth, it's exhausting, but it's kind of anger exhaustion. It's not sad. It's just a place where you know that it won't change today. But again, if you don't do anything about it, it may not change ever. A vegetable garden can tell you an entire story of climate change. Then at that moment, but you're addressing what is important in a priority list of someone who's poor. Food. There's food on the table, and then let's talk about climate change.
The erosion of the soil is the erosion of the soul. This garden is a totally agroecology garden, and What does that really mean? It means we're not using chemical fertilizers, we're using composting and all the natural things around us. If you want to defend life, the gender-based violence, for an example, bring people back to what they know better and bring back people to what they are. As a girl and as a woman, the main struggle has been always around water. On your way to fetch water, anything could happen. Harassment, rape, the force into relationships, they are rooted in that a girl cannot decide. What I would really like for the girls is to understand that when they're protecting the environment, it's not about something that is abstract and out there. It's about protecting themselves and their identity and who they are. When I think of the future of the earth, it needs citizens like that. Citizens that are going to embrace life as a whole, as a gift to protect, to co-create something better. For the girls here, they've never seen anyone testing water. Now they begin to say, but we are the ones who are affected. So it is very important for girls and women to be empowered, to be able to do that. Participation of girls and women is about telling your story. The way you experience it, not the way it's written.
Okay, so I'm actually 17, turning 18. Every individual has a way of thinking. We are all very unique and we all have very unique skills. And if you combine those unique skills together, we could actually make something that's tangible, something that's solid, something that can benefit the whole of us.
One of the things that needs to happen is that there needs to be a collaboration between those who have been living on this world for a long time, who are in power, and young people. And I say this because elderly people have more knowledge on where they've come from. Young people have more knowledge on what they've been going through and where they want to go through. So it's very important to ensure that you have young people put in these places of decision making so that they can ensure that there are more people actually taking control of their future. But more than that, young people are often the ones who are facing the things on the ground, and so they have a more practical approach to addressing things like climate change.
So the process for today was basically to try and get more people, specifically from the Western Cape side, who were going to join the drafting of the document that we're going to hand over to the city of Cape Town. But I think it's still important that we try and get people to be involved, because I do think that
people are afraid, and I was afraid to speak up because I had thought that my opinions weren't valid. I thought my opinions were wrong. The more people realized what I was saying, and the more my opinions were being recognized. And after that, I kind of got the feeling that, wait, if I speak, I could actually affect change. If people see it in this view and in this light, I think there will be a lot more young people who's going to affect change in the near future.
Moba kubio zaya, zaya, mubio zaya noma base dovula zay, bese bopa zay, bese shawa zaya ngoma gobe. That is the song that we sing. No matter you're shooting us, no matter you're hurting us, no matter you're beating us, the song is going to be there. And somewhere, somehow, where, we don't know when, but people are going to hear us. So this track is going on the top. This level, you can see, is like the floor. So they're starting with, I think, 1982, where they're starting that floor. Now they're proposing another land. Then South Africa will be a better country. Let's build in South Africa together. Africa together. We're building South Africa. This is the stack that we told you. We are building South Africa here. We are killing South Africa here. We are killing our brothers and sisters. We are killing the future generation. Go to the township that I'm from. We're surrounded by informal settlement. Next to the hospital, there's informal settlement. Each and every space, this is informal settlement. This is the project that brings formal settlement, crime, prostitute. They come in because of this project. We're losing our livelihood. I don't know what is going because I will never be there, maybe. But my children, who is going to talk to them about it?
The name Springs comes from the fact that there was natural water springs around here. So primarily it's an agricultural area up until there was a discovery of minerals, and then everything changed. It's not as beautiful as it would have been at the time when it was called Springs. When they stopped mining, the state was the owner of these mines. So it actually lies with them to find funds to actually rehabilitate. The state is only a custodian of the land. People own the land. So the state is a custodian of the land on behalf of the people. So if the land cannot be used for anything, especially agriculture and human settlements, they leave it useless as it is, unrehabilitated. That is something that drives us. There is not a single mining company in South Africa that complies fully with the mining charter, that fully implements their social and labor plans.
So this is the Cuttings Beach in Durban, the beauty of the ocean, and the beach of the biggest chemical oil refinery in Durban.
We are vulnerable to so many things here in the South Durban. Industries can literally blow up in a matter of seconds, and nobody would know what to do. We do not have an emergency plan. We are surrounded by industries.
And breaking news, of course, at the hour, we continue to update you on a massive explosion which rocked the Engine Oil Refinery in Durban South.
We're actually tired, we're frustrated, we are feeling everything. I'm exhausted, I don't even know what to say anymore, honestly.
Can you see the whole roof is burning?
Does this really benefit our community? Does it? That's the big question. And that's, I think, what fuels us to keep fighting. Fighting the giants.
Our people will always stand up and fight, and have been fighting for the last 25 years and beyond that, to demand for a clean and healthy environment, but more critically, for the pollution burden to be reduced.
If you have a civil society backing, a civil society behind you, a people behind you, you are able to take on government in a way that you force them to listen. We're not asking you to listen, we're telling you to listen, because we're the people that experience the harms on the ground. And so if we could change policy where it really comes from the people, then we can say we are moving in a step that's going to bring the change that we want to see.
The type of leaders we have, are they aware about environment? Are they aware about implications of what is happening now is going to cause for the near future?
We need leaders who are going to be affirmative in viewing climate change, number one, as real, but also more than that, in viewing that climate change in itself is something that affects people who are impoverished even more than those who are living in suburban areas, and fully understanding these inequalities and how climate change affects these inequalities.
For policies to be really meaningful, they must be solving what is a problem for a specific group or groups.
When you have someone or another group making a decision on behalf of another, that is unjust and unsustainable, because that decision might be rejected. But if they were part of a decision, if they are, there would be a lot of care, a lot of creativity and ownership.
If your department has not delivered water, yours is to come here and account for the injustice you have subjected those people to. Apologize genuinely and say, we have messed up here, instead of giving people false hope. And that's the big problem I'm realizing, especially with communicators in the country. They think you are inviting them to be attacked, but we only want clarity.
Those leaders in municipalities, they must know that you are in charge as communities. We are not fighting with them, but we need to work with them. And explaining, like I was explaining, and hear what I'm saying.
People are experiencing environmental injustices all over South Africa. We cannot exist without our environment.
That's what's needed. We need a new approach that is totally different to what has happened in the past. We can create an alternative energy that doesn't harm people's health, that doesn't harm the environment.
You say that by 2030 we have to halve our carbon emissions, otherwise it's the end of civilization as we know it. Can we do it? Can't grow crops, can't sustain livestock. So what do you do? What do you do? And the only answer to that is to go back to the wisdom of nature itself.
No matter what association you belong to, what NGO you belong to, what organization or community structure you belong to, when people come together and make a commitment to stand up against something, that's the voice of civil society that needs to sound louder than anything else. Not in our name, not in our community, not on our soil. You are not going to take our resources away from us.
This is our fight, and we must not be afraid to use up all our energy and might to bring about the changes we seek. Because what do we leave behind if it's all destroyed?
Community-led alternatives. It's sustainable change that can be there, where there's sustained independence, sustained pride, and continuing change that dignifies how people live. Realizing yourself beyond you.
We are living in a world that's ever changing. A lot more people are becoming open-minded, and just moving forward from where we've been as a society to where we're going to now. I think I'm definitely optimistic that we are going to have a leader, not just in a country like South Africa, but in every other country, where people are going to be more open-minded in how they address things. And that's something that personally I'm really excited for.
Here we are on Earth. The reality is that the future is a bit bleak, but it's in our hands.
If we are united, nothing can stop us.
Your future generation can make changes. Just to sing that song.
I'm very positive that we're going to get our voices heard, and we're going to get the change that we are longing.